How's it going, folks? It's Lobo, and thank you so much for joining me today for the Assassin's Creed Black Flag reveal showcase. The day is finally here, and I'm so excited, but before we get into the video, there's actually a few minutes before the stream starts, so I want to talk a bit about the game, my expectations, my concerns for this remake. And I just want to start off by saying, out of the Assassin's Creed games, which I've played from 3 till Valhalla, so that would include Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag, of course, Rogue, Unity, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey, and then Valhalla. And of those games, Black Flag is my favorite. It's actually my number 6 ranked favorite game of all time. I do have a list of my top 10 favorite, and Black Flag was in the top 5 until in 2023 when Baldur's Gate 3 came around and it shuffled it backwards a spot. But it is absolutely one of my favorite games ever. I have about 700 hours into it, so there's an equal share of dread and excitement for the possibility of a remake, resync, whatever you want to call it. But before I even talk about my concerns with this game, I want it to be said that I've actually seen the leaks over the past 3 years or so, especially in the last 3 days, because they have just been everywhere on the timeline. But since this game was initially rumored back in 2023, I've been actively following it, especially on Insider Gaming, who's been covering this game exclusively and has really ramped up over the past few days, like I said. So what I've actually seen from the leaks, including 11 seconds of footage and some screenshots, I'm feeling good about the game. I think graphically it's a huge step up. They're keeping the art style, the characters the same. Even the dialogue is one-to-one. Perhaps even they reuse the old performances. A lot of green flags in my book. And on top of that, the Assassin's Creed official channel came out and said some of those screenshots were actually from an early dev build. So it's going to look much better here, because I'm not sure that those leaks are from this presentation, because I know channels and the media got to see it at an early presentation last week, last Thursday. So I don't know if that's from the same thing. I doubt it, especially with what they've said. But I must admit, unfortunately, my excitement has been a little bit dampened, not because I'm disappointed, but because the cat's out of the bag. It reminds me of when I was a kid, I was really into the Transformers movies, and my mom got me a Megatron action figure. But the issue was it happened to speak, so I could hear it in her bureau making quotes from the movies. And I was like, Mom, I can hear the Megatron toy, and she's like, that's not real, you're imagining it, and trying to gaslight me into thinking that I was wrong. And then come Christmas, what do you know? A talking Megatron action figure pretends to be shocked. So that's pretty much the case here with the showcase. I'm still very excited to see new footage. Again, we've only had really 11 seconds of footage and some low-res screenshots. It certainly got up the excitement, but having the full reveal would have been awesome. I suppose a part of that is my fault, because I could have chosen not to indulge in the leaks, but I couldn't help it because I've been starving for 3 years for any sort of crumbs about this game. And supposedly this is going to be a presentation narrated by Matt Ryan himself, which is awesome, and it might eclipse over 20 minutes. So that's a lot more content to get into. And as for my concerns before I get into the stream here, it really just boils down to the approach of Assassin's Creed now versus then. I was always in favor of the more character-oriented, story-driven games that really put an emphasis on the writing and the character arc versus the RPG route of giving players choices in the dialogue, different endings, and really just so much content that the writing just fails in between, because it's just, as I said, just so stretched out over the course of 80 hours. And as a result of that, the decrease in using performance capture to really highlight an actor's performance and make you immersed in the game, the lack of that in recent games has really turned me off. Because when you look at some of the comparisons between AC Shadows and AC Unity, and of course now Black Flag, it's insane that games from 12 plus years ago are doing better than they are now in that department of facial performances. So I need to see that retained here. I need to see real cutscenes. I don't want to see the generated same animations over and over. And I know it's a bit unfair, but going from that leaked footage and screenshots, it kind of looks like they're using the old cutscenes and just revamping them with the new technology, the new updated Anvil engine, which of course means new graphics, new character designs, but keeping the spirit of the original and perhaps even the dialogue and the performances on top of that. And there's another thing I'm curious about is I believe that Assassin's Creed Black Flag made the cutoff, because when you look at something like God of War 1, I know they're doing the remake on those. Unfortunately, I don't think the performances and some of the writing aged as well as it should have. I mean, it's a 2005 game, so some people are like, oh, just keep the old dialogue lines, performances, and just redo it. I think they have to start over from scratch. But the thing with Black Flag is they use motion capture. The delivery of the lines is good. The dialogue's good. They can literally reuse it. And then for the supposed, oh, they're going to add new content, new, dialogue lines and quests and such, then you get the actors again and do these little spaces in between. So it keeps the same flow. Nothing's changing story-wise, the end point, the beginning point, the middles. That would be absolutely huge for me, and I truly hope that's the case. And my time is actually running out, so we're gonna get into the stream soon, but I will say beforehand, I'm aware that this is Ubisoft Singapore leading the charge. Of course, they made Skull and Bones, and trying to salvage that shipwreck of a project, they're reusing assets as a way of cutting costs and also just retooling devs towards another project. So I would like to see a bit more customization with the Jackdaw, not necessarily what we saw in Skull and Bones, but of course keeping the aesthetic and art style of the original Black Flag, but just more customization on that front with the Jackdaw perhaps would be really awesome. Less tailing missions, which according to leaks, they're revamping them so that they don't desynchronize once you fail, which is awesome if that turns out to be true. Seamless travel between cities from Havana to Kingston to Nassau. I would love for the soundtrack to remain entirely the same. That's another thing that I think aged extremely well. Either add to it or just leave it as it is. We are doing no replacing. I don't want to see any replacing because the music is one of the highlights of that game, especially the sea shanties, of course, but the main OST is really, really good. And then lastly, I heard some things about the combat. It's going to be more action-oriented and fast-paced, which I'm not really sure what that means. I have to admit, I'm one of the people that wasn't the biggest fans of the Assassin's Creed 3 to Rogue sort of combat, which is very much counter, insta-kill. That's not really fun to me, unfortunately. Oddly enough, I like the direction they're going with Unity, but it didn't have the best execution. I'm someone who really appreciates a realistic approach to combat that feels heavy. You feel it in your controller, in the animation. Enemies react to hits as well as you do. I'm not opposed to hitbox, but just making it a reasonable, kind of like Ghost of Tsushima, where enemies go down in a few hits, and of course you can have boss fights, but it's more so on your approach to breaking an enemy's guard. And I also do believe that people are getting confused because I love the animations and the executions and doing double kills, but that's not the combat itself. That's like the finishing blow. You can still achieve a nice blend of cinematic combat that gives a player challenge and then rewards them with a nice finisher animation. That's entirely possible, and I hope that's the case here. So I'm very curious how the combat's going to look. So with all of that being said, the stream is about to begin. I'm super excited, and we're going to jump into more of my concerns, but also how I'm feeling after officially seeing the game. I am so excited to get back to the West Indies, and I do hope that July 9th release date is true and it's not too far off the horizon. Might never all meet here again. The singing "Here's a Hell to the Company." Is this a cutscene? What is this?
Rum tastes sweeter.
It hasn't even started yet. Did I miss this talking so much? Son of a bitch. Damn it, why isn't the stream in 4K?
At it again, Kenway. I thought you'd be done chasing fairy stories.
This is crazy.
Not yet.
Look at him, bro. 10-second countdown. Dude, I've played remakes before, but never of one of my favorite games of all time. This is surreal. Holy shit. Mix of in-progress gameplay and game cinematics. Holy shit. Look at this.
We fly no colors out here, but praise the lack of them. So let the black flag signal nothing but your allegiance to man.
And here's the 11-second leak. Wow.
Man plays the fool, and it's only fools he'll persuade, but appear to be the devil. And all men will submit.
Oh my god.
We're pirates, kid. We take as we please and become who we like.
But that look ain't you. It's not.
Okay, story staying the exact same. Perfect.
You're a wonder, Kenway. You've a knack for this kind of work.
These graphics are crazy.
It ain't work if you love it.
You know, say what you want about the latest Assassin's Creed games, but the Anvil engine, it makes some gorgeous games. And there's the art style in his actual outfit. It was leaked in black and gold.
I have to say, it is
Matt Ryan.
so good to be here. I played Edward Kenway more than a decade ago, and you know, he's one of those characters that never really leaves you. Now, over the past months, we know that you've been waiting. Or we
Past
know
years.
that you've heard things. And today, it is finally time to share with you what we've been working on. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is a faithful remake of one of the most beloved Assassin's Creed games. It's totally rebuilt from the ground up with the latest version of the Anvil engine and enriched with lots of new additions. Resynchronization with Edward's journey and memories. The same story, the same man, but elevated to a new level of immersion and realism to bring you one of the most thrilling swashbuckling pirate adventures. And I'm happy to say, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced will be released
July 9th, of
9th,
course.
2026.
Let's go.
Today,
Day
guys,
one
you
for
are
me.
getting the
Day
real deal.
one.
The first ever look at gameplay. Everything that's been rebuilt, reimagined, and some behind-the-scenes stories. But enough of my talking, yeah? Let's just jump right in.
Soundtrack's the same.
Hello, pirates. Matt Ryan.
This
here,
is
voice
crazy.
of Edward Kenway. And this is Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. 13 years after the original, this remake brings the classic game back to life. Rebuilt from the ground up with the latest Anvil engine to deliver the most thrilling.
Look at my beautiful Jackdaw.
All right, let's set sail.
Dash my buttons.
Steed!
Your life seems a grand one, if I may say. So full of adventure.
This looks insane.
Edward Kenway, a rebellious scoundrel eager to make a name for himself in the pursuit of glory, freedom, and a search for a better life.
Seen your face before. Yous mates with them pirates down in Nassau.
Shut your bloody gob or I'll fill it with shot.
That ain't what he said.
Edward, is it?
After crossing paths with the
Duncan
Assassins
Walpo.
and Templars, Edward is drawn into their centuries-old conflict with secret locations and legendary treasures.
Look at Governor Torres.
Along the way, he joins
Graphics are
forces with
amazing.
infamous pirates such as Anne Bonny, Charles Vane, and Blackbeard. With them, he helps establish a short
In a world without
lawless
gold.
republic following the pirate code and defying empires built on cruelty and greed. Together, in their search for freedom, power, and riches, they'll fight across a treacherous tropical paradise. From dangerous waters to dense jungles, untamed lands, and bustling historical cities. From the grandeur of Havana, the thriving and wealthy jewel of the Caribbean,
This
ruled by
doesn't feel
Templars,
real.
to Kingston's bustling trade hub, and Nassau, the beating heart of the pirate republic.
This is the Anvil engine, right?
Offers a distinct atmosphere shaped by opportunities and conflicts.
From Origins to Odyssey to Valhalla to Shadows, you can see the progress year by year, but this just looks like such a jump graphically.
Strikingly detailed environments.
How did they do this?
And a new dynamic weather system.
Yeah, just like Shadows. God damn, bro.
Even underwater exploration is more expansive, more beautiful, and more perilous than ever before. With seamless access to cities and locations, the world feels truly alive.
Seamless travel, thank God, man. No loading screens.
Creating the perfect backdrop.
Look
for
at
a
this.
life on the edge, where freedom is earned and danger is never far away. Time to draw swords, lads.
Dude, Edward looks so much better than he did in the leaks.
Reworked into an action-oriented experience, while wielding dual swords, pistols, and hidden blades. Every move now plays a specific role with faster
OG animations.
combos. Land a perfect
Dude,
parry
this is a
to open
perfect
your
mix of
target
modern
for
and
instant
old.
kill. Then follow with up to 4 chained takedowns.
Look at this.
Use walls, ledges, and breakables to your advantage.
This is what they should be doing with the combat.
Opponents and use all your tools to level the playing.
Oh my God.
fight recklessly,
Oh, my damn.
and you will be punished. Whether you're on the hunt or on the run, mastering your environment is key. As you navigate through cities and jungles, you'll experience smooth and improved iconic parkour moves. From free jumps
Free jumps.
to back ejects.
Oh my
and side
god, dude.
ejects.
Is Assassin's Creed back?
These options offer a range of reactive movements, giving you tighter control.
I think it
resulting
is.
in greater speed and deadlier assassination.
Double assassinations, of course. He's got dual blades.
Pirate assassin often calls for a subtle approach. With Resynced and its enriched stealth system, you can now crouch freely as part of your toolkit.
Fuck it. I'm gonna say it. This is gonna be the best Assassin's Creed of all time. Holy shit. I mean, Ubisoft's rightfully earned all the criticism over the past 10 years or so, but it looks like they're listening to us, guys.
Meant instant desynchronization.
This is
This
unbelievable.
was a pretty big pain point. We remember.
Yeah, leaks were right.
Now, the action continues. Your objectives remain, but your target will react, and you must adapt accordingly.
Dude, the finishers are the same.
All these new interactions offer multiple ways to succeed and progress in your missions. Of course,
Look at the jackdaw.
be a real pirate.
Our beautiful
adventure
girl.
with a ship.
Jackdaw. You named your brig after a poxy bird.
The Jackdaw.
Real performance capture.
Set sail and freely roam the Caribbean.
Oh, she
Now
looks
equipped with
gorgeous.
Even more firepower. The
Even
Jackdaw
more?
can conquer the high seas like never before.
I'm gonna dump so many hours into this.
With new alternate fire
fuck,
for
man.
every weapon, you now have more power and flexibility to overcome opponents' ships in any situation.
Oh my god. Wow, look at this HUD.
You will engage in epic battles, boarding parties, and fort raids. All
I
of
can't
these
believe
are
Skull and Bones didn't let you board and have combat with the
dangerous
enemy ship. That's
and
crazy.
exciting as ever. To reinforce your crew, 3 brand new officers make their entrance.
Officers?
Lucy Baldwin, the Padre, and Deadman Smith.
Huh.
Each officer has a unique narrative quest line that reveals their backstory.
Whoa.
Trust to recruit them to your crew and benefit from their
Okay, much
special
more
gameplay
fleshed out than
abilities.
Odyssey's.
Deadman Smith, for example, unlocks a double shot from broadside weapons.
That's very handy.
Explore the Caribbean alongside your crewmates and trusty pets.
Ah, yes, the pets.
That's right. You can now find
A cat or a
cat
monkey.
for the Jackdaw.
I'm naming him Jack.
Engage and plunder other vessels. Steer through violent storms, rogue waves. Or just soak up the sun, regaled by shanties new and old.
New and old. The wind. They re-recorded that.
Resynced
I can
offers
tell.
a deeper, more immersive adventure that remains faithful to what players love, while enriching the experience with enhanced gameplay features and fresh quests and storylines, including ones for the officers you met earlier and, just between you and me, new narrative arcs involving our old friends, Blackbeard and Steed. Defy empires and relive the era's explosive events amidst the ancient war between assassins and Templars in the ultimate pirate fantasy. Gold, infamy, and adventure await.
I know that scene.
It's time to raise the black flag again.
My god.
With Black Flag Resynced, we set out to reconnect with the heart of Black Flag. From the start, the intention was clear: deliver a faithful and enriched experience.
They certainly did
what
so.
Players loved. We've rebuilt
Dude,
the
they
entire adventure using our
really
latest
listened.
engine. Expect fully overhauled visuals, new additions that deepen its world, and enhanced gameplay both on land and at sea. Movement now flows more naturally from one action to the next, whether you're doing parkour across rooftops in Havana or fighting on the docks. Parkour builds on the latest design improvements from recent Assassin's Creed games, while still keeping Edward's classic moves.
Dude, this has like the best of
Combat
everything.
offers a more dynamic, swashbuckling experience, driven by precise parries and takedowns. Stealth gets its share of improvements too, and the ability to crouch anywhere. They open up more tactical routes and subtle approaches, letting you shape the adventure the way you want. Naval gameplay also follows the same philosophy and offers more tactical options. New officers will join your crew with powerful abilities, while the Jackdaw's weapons can be upgraded with new modes to change up the fight. The sea now plays an active role in how you'll be challenged by the elements. Weather and waves will influence how your ship will handle, while preserving the pace and freedom players remember. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced matters deeply to us and to you. That's why we took the time to rebuild it with the care it deserves. This remains a solo, adventure, and character-driven experience. It is not an RPG. The focus stays on how you play and how you explore the world. And as we develop the game, we organize dedicated workshops with our community. These early player feedbacks played an important role in refining many of these elements. Here's a look at their most recent visit.
Hello everyone, we are here at the Ubisoft Singapore studio where we invited some of our biggest Assassin's Creed fans to discover the remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. They've had the opportunity to meet the devs, try the game, and share their valuable feedback with us. Here's what they had to say.
I still can't believe that I can help the dev team to make the game better and improve it when it finally arrives.
I'm part of that process, and Black Flag is my favorite game, so to be a part of that process is just awesome.
It felt nice to be appreciated in that way, to give direct input about the game.
The feedback
It's
with
the
dev
best
team
thing
is very
a
open
developer can
as
do
a
is
dev
listen
team
to player
take
feedback.
criticism, what needs to be fixed.
I mean, you're making a product, you better
even
damn
ask
well
us more
appeal
questions
to
about it. So I love
your
the
consumers.
curiosity that they show us, and it
But
shows
especially
that
the
they
way
really
this
care
franchise
about
has been
what
going
they
the
do.
last, you know,
I'm just really excited to be
decade.
back, like with the addition of new audio lines and new dialogue.
I remember I did fill out a survey a few months ago on like my opinion on the franchise and where they should go.
I care about this
I
game,
truly
this
feel
remake,
like
when
they
I
have
heard
been
rumors
listening. This
about
is
this game. I
this
just
could be a
wanted
huge
to
turnaround for the
be
company.
involved in giving as much
And more
effective
importantly, the
feedback.
franchise itself.
Some of this work came directly from spending time with some of our core players early on. We had them play early builds and sat down with them to gather their honest feedback on the game, tapping into the many things players expect of a Black Flag remake, from gameplay features to visual fidelity. This helped us refine some of our choices along the way. What was interesting was not only to gather that feedback, but to understand why players reacted this way. They were incredibly passionate about Edward, how he moves, how he reads on screen, even the details on his face. That
He
led
looks
to
so
deeper
good.
conversations. Together, we explored different approaches.
This is graphically the most
tested
impressive
ideas,
Assassin's Creed I've
challenged
ever
assumptions,
seen.
and refined choices until the
How
intent
did they
felt
do
right
this?
again. The
This is
team's
only a year
passion and
apart from
commitment have
Shadows,
driven
too.
every step of this journey, and we can't wait for you to see more of what we've been crafting.
Oh, it really is so good to be back in this world. Now, I believe the Black Flag is one of those pirate adventures that never really left the players' minds. And it's also really special to be here today with some of the people who helped shape the game back then and who are bringing it back now. Jean, you were creative director on the original Black Flag, and Paul, you're the creative director on Resynced, who's leading the vision of this remake today. Now, before we dive into what the game is now, I'd love to go back for a moment. So when you started building Black Flag back in early 2012? 2012. How was the world imagined in the first place? I mean, what were the pillars that were there from day one?
Well, from the very beginning, one of the key central core pillar was fluidity. right? We really wanted a seamless experience, connecting movement, combat, and navigation, all very naturally. And it was the same seamlessness that we were looking for between naval experience and the ground experience, because the other challenges we were facing was to merge actually two fantasies, being a pirate on one side and being an assassin on the other, without any friction. And the sea wasn't just an add-on, to the ground experience. Naval gameplay was really a core pillar from day one. We also wanted a world that feels alive, right? Something that would react to the players, always in motion. And it was very compelling to me to see other people like Paul and his team actually to face the same challenges that we did face back in the days. And I think what helped them craft the game was that a lot of people involved in Resynced today were already part of the game. The
I don't know if you could tell, but my eye is twitching like crazy because I'm just like so bewildered at how incredible this looks.
What stayed non-negotiable from the original?
I'm literally
vision,
speechless.
that,
Just trying to take it all in.
So, Matt, the one thing that was non-negotiable is the original story of Edward Kenway. We have never approached Resynced as a reinvention. Our goal is to carry John's vision forward. And today,
I have not been mad at anything they've said. It's all music to my ears.
Latest Anvil. It allows us to push dynamism, gameplay, immersion further.
Was Frontiers of Pandora on the Anvil engine? Because that was another gorgeous game, but man, dude, Ubisoft.
How collaborative the original game was, and can you talk about that?
They truly do make some of the most beautiful games ever.
Yeah, absolutely, it was absolutely a team effort back in the time, and I remember actually in 2012 when we first came here in Singapore meeting.
This stream isn't even in 4K, by the way, so.
This week of hard work where the game really emerged from the preparatory
music collaboration reveal.
And Montreal worked very closely with Singapore. Singapore built key parts of Black Flag. The naval gameplay was built on top of the Assassin's Creed 3 naval tech that was developed, in some specific missions. But you were also behind a lot of places, locations, and gameplays, like caves, underwater gameplay, forts, ships, and some major missions like the E3 demo that you worked on.
That's right. Right. So there seems to be like a real sense of continuity here, not just in the game, but in the people making it. One thing that really shaped Black Flag for me was how dynamic the scenes felt coming back to it for Resynced and shooting the mocap scenes in Toronto. The scenes just felt so dynamic, like the original game. And Jean, what was the intention back then, when it came to all the cinematics?
So from the start, and it was a lot of discussion with Kama, the animation director back then, we really wanted the scenes to feel alive. We wanted characters moving, interrupting each other, exchanging objects, and reacting physically.
Dude,
and that's
proper cutscenes. Oh God, yes.
When you rebuild a game like
it's
this,
crazy how that's disappeared in the latest entries.
That becomes a huge challenge, right, Paul? And how did you
go back to linear stories moving forward, please God. I'm begging you.
Further with all of today's amazing technology.
Well, there are many ways, but to carry on the spirit of Black Flag, we always remembered one thing: to rebuild the game with the original pillars in mind, John's pillars and the original core team's pillars. But the most important thing was the story.
Yes, always most important.
And it took a lot of handcrafting, especially the facial animations, but that's important because that's the soul of the game.
Yes. Oh my God, they get it.
Are the pariahs of Charlestown, and I would profit better by using your organs for chum and your bones for char. By Christ!
And when you add new things to a game that people really know off by heart and they know it so well, the fear is always that the people might notice the seams, right? Jean, when you played it, what did you feel?
Well, actually, I felt like playing Black Flag, and not even noticing where the original end was ending and when the new content that Paul and the team wrote was starting. And this is something really, really important. That continuity is very much essential.
Jean, whenever we wanted to change or add something, we would always question ourselves, does this belong here? Would Edward do this? Would John get upset? And if the answer wasn't clear,
That's a great approach.
we simply wouldn't do it. However, as we all know, no remake is complete without additional content. So we have added brand new chapters and brand new missions to the game, including a brand new scene with Edward's wife, Caroline, that's written by Darby himself.
Oh, Darby, yes!
Jean,
Let's
so-
go.
so
Everybody was
there's
wondering if he was
something-
going to write again.
I don't know, there's something deeper in Black Flag than just like pirate freedom, you know, and it's closely tied to the character of Edward.
Yes, absolutely. We really wanted to send a message also saying that freedom without structure doesn't lead you anywhere, right? And Edward's arc reflects that. He thinks everything will be granted, you know, that's the good life, plundering, etc. But then in the end, you realize that you lost all your friends. Yeah. Right? And so this is very important because he grows into someone that understands his own responsibilities, and that makes him, like you said, very human.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I really leaned into coming back to the character after, you know, more than a decade. You know, it's the same Edward, but there seemed to be like, for me personally, you know, from the scenes that were written, kind of, as I said, more dynamism, but also there's a certain kind of weight to Edward's journey, you know? I guess that with Black Flag Resynced, there are some really kind of important decisions to make, right, Paul? And how did you approach those?
So Matt, with Resynced, we made a clear choice. It is a pure story-driven adventure, and we are fully focused on Edward's adventures in the Caribbean. As a result of this focus, we have elected to not have the multiplayer and not have the DLC. However, Resynced
I'm
is
perfectly
built from the
fine with
ground up,
that.
with new story, new content, and new systems. But we're staying true to his action adventure.
Was he sailing a man of war?
Resynced
What?
is a 2026 take on the original legend.
Or were we getting the
for those of
Kenway
us
fleet
who are
back?
curious, the original will still be available.
Original will
And
still
so-
be available. Some people are asking that.
Modern day,
To be fair, I don't
I've
think anyone's going
played
back to the
a really
original after this
specific
reveal.
role in
My
Black Flag when it was released. And so can you explain how it fit the franchise back then?
So, you know, back then in 2013, the present day reflected where the franchise was at. It was a transition moment, especially with Desmond's story and what it meant at the time. But now with Resynced, I think there were some changes were needed.
That's right. Today, the modern day has evolved. For Black Flag Resynced, we have approached it in a way that focuses on Edward's journey while still connecting his memories to the Animus. The modern day riffs in Black Flag Resynced will feature new moments that focus on Edward's internal struggles.
There's also something about Black
Wonder how that's gonna
Flag
work.
that I feel that, I don't know, people still crave what the game brought, you know?
You know what? I think it's because it's a game full of light.
Yeah.
Yes, there is danger and violence, but everything takes place under the bright Caribbean sky, you know? Palm trees, seas, movement. It's very generous in a sense. And that sense of escapism has always been part of the game, and I feel it's very relevant in 2026.
Yeah, totally. And the other thing that the people, I feel, never forget, and certainly I never had, is the music.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. It's the music, especially the sea shanties. The sea shanties in particular have always been part of Black Flag's identity.
Yes, sir.
For Resynced, we have kept the shanties that everybody loves, but we have also added new shanties.
Oh my God,
that are
let's go.
connected to the story. So
Oh,
today,
this is
we'd like to
perfect.
reveal a
Dude,
collaboration
even look at the
with an
sails, the
artist
way they
deeply
react to the
connected
wind
to the
differently than
Assassin's Creed
in
franchise.
2013.
And this artist has a special place in my heart because of his work on Assassin's Creed Revelations. Woodkid.
Woodkid. Ah, cool.
I still need to play Revelations. Maybe they'll do a remake of that.
Hey everyone, Woodkid here.
How would you feel about
I'm in
that?
my studio in Paris now, and I have great news for you. I'm back in the Assassin's Creed franchise. This time,
I
for
bet a
Assassin's
lot of
Creed
people are going to be
Black Flag
happy
Resynced.
for that.
You know, the world of Assassin's Creed has been very important for me and very linked to my career. It started like 15 years ago or something. And this time, I'm very excited about what we've done. I know that Assassin's Creed Black Flag is a game that's very important to all of you. It's a game about escapism, about rebellion, about exploration, and these are themes that are very, very important for my work. You know, I've explored these themes a lot in my music. So I won't say too much, but I can't wait for you to hear what I've done for Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced.
Having him return to the franchise, especially for Black Flag Resynced, means a lot to the team. We've been working on a newly reimagined track specifically for Black Flag Resynced, and we can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Yeah, right. And, you know, music is just one of those things that the people remember long after they stop playing. I mean, I did. The sea shanties, I still play in my car now from time to time, you know, and this game means a lot to you, and we know that.
Yeah, absolutely. This game means a lot to me, and I'm not saying that just because you guys are here. Just working on a game takes me back to 2012, and we all want the game to be the best it can be, and we really hope that you guys will enjoy playing it.
Yeah, so you entered the Animus for real.
That's
Back
right.
in 2012.
I mean, what a great thing, right? To come back to something, you know, more than a decade after, you know, and get to revisit and rebuild and reimagine this wonderful world. It's just been such a pleasure for me, and I thank you guys for bringing me back. Before we wrap this up, I've got a little surprise for you. All right, this is something pretty awesome. I saw it today for the first time, and I love it.
We doing the collector's edition? Yes.
We have
I saw it leaked on Amazon.
Black Flag Resynced collector's edition.
I think it's like $192 US.
Is a really stunningly well-crafted.
Dude, this leaked so long ago. This statue.
Slouched like me, really. And he looks really cool, and it's crafted really well. And inside, there's a notebook with all of like Kenway's diary entries and journeys about all of his adventures, and there's also a brooch and a cloth map, and then some goodies in there.
Yeah, Edward went all around the world after leaving the West Indies, getting precursor artifacts.
If you guys like it, then you're gonna have to get your
I mean, even look at Syndicate. He found the Shroud of Eden.
You deserve it.
Thank you. No,
You're welcome to take it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
They could totally do a DLC in the future. I know they said they're not gonna, but
for you to live or relive
him sailing the world,
thrilling pirate
going to
adventure with
precursor
Assassin's Creed
sites.
Black Flag Resynced. That will launch on July 9th, 2026.
Day one, baby.
I just want to say thank you for all being with us today, and we cannot wait for you to experience it yourselves. Cheers.
Oh my god, dude. What to even say? You know, call me crazy, but I don't even think I'm gonna do like a post discussion on this, because I mentioned before the bulk of what I was talking about before with my concerns and how the game was gonna look had just being blown away is like the biggest understatement I could say, because in my mind, you know, having seen the leaks before and them saying was early dev builds, I understand. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna look a little better, but this wasn't even in 60 frames. This wasn't even in 4K. Again, I understand when everybody's like, oh, never pre-order, and absolutely, you are correct. And especially with some of the demos that we've seen or the presentations, like for instance, Cyberpunk versus the game's launch, absolutely. But just seeing in my mind what Black Flag could possibly look like, and then actually seeing it now, it's insane what they achieved. And just the main thing I want to point out is that community feedback that they have been listening to us, because Assassin's Creed has gone in a different direction in the past few years or so than what I would have liked and a majority of the fan base. And I've always said the triumph and the best part about the series, or something that was a formula for success until it wasn't, was really just following a linear story, a character-driven story, and not having to have dialogue choices and this bombardment of, you know, multiple endings and people ending up with different canon, and all to appease the RPG crowd. I understand if you want to implement some mechanics to make it really emphasize on exploration and player choice on that exploration, but not necessarily in the story itself. That's okay, but go back to these narrative-driven games, and they look like they've been listening. It makes me so curious about the future of this franchise, especially with I believe it's called Hexe. I just say Hex, but it's got an E at the end. Hexe. I'm curious about that. It's supposed to be a darker Assassin's Creed, medieval Assassin's Creed, like kind of like witch trials, or supposedly. With this, that would be really cool. And all the other remakes, there's one in development right now, and the possibility of like these early ones, like Assassin's Creed 1, the Ezio days being remade. My God, I know some people are like, oh, you just have to reheat the old stuff because you can't really do it in modern day. But if this is any indication of where the franchise is going and them listening to us and the implementations of the new mechanics and philosophy in the franchise, then I have high hopes for Assassin's Creed in general, because this just looks astounding. And I really think I'm gonna end it here because I want to like absorb my thoughts. This just blew me away. Everything they said, everything I've said beforehand, where I'm like, I'm nervous about this, I hope they do this, and it's like check. Listen to the community, don't change anything, add to it only if it makes sense, it works within it. And another standout thing I want to say is, I mentioned it during the video, you can see, especially from Origins to Valhalla, the evolution of graphics and the reuse of animations, models, textures, and some in Shadows. Shadows was like the biggest leap, I think, because it was like a 5-year gap in between release. I mean, I know Mirage was in between, but this doesn't look like any of the Assassin's Creeds I've ever seen. Like the textures on the face, is that because they've really like, okay, we're doing performance capture, it has to look good? I don't understand. They locked the fuck in for this, and I am so thankful for that. Oh God. Oh dude, I'm like the happiest man alive right now. Guys, but please let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to rewatch this immediately as soon as I get done editing and uploading this video. This is just, I can't even talk right now. And I mentioned yesterday during my Clayface trailer reaction that I'm back to doing reactions and edits and all sorts of stuff like that. So next week is going to be the week where that stuff happens. So I hope you guys are looking forward to it. And until then, have a great rest of your day. Rest well. And until the next.